so much, everyone. I am Portland City Councilor Tiffany Koyama-Lane. I represent District 3. I'm a mom of 2 kids. I've been a public school teacher for nearly 2 decades. The last 7 years at Sunnyside Environmental School, which our lovely Jan and Sarah founded. I am along with Samir Kanal, we're the first Asian Americans ever on Portland City Council. And I care a lot about the urban forest plan. I brought that amendment to save those 14 positions yesterday. Our tree canopy is incredibly important. I care a lot about PSEF, and it should not be a piggy bank that is rated. According to the council president, he lovingly told me I was being a little bit of a pain in the ass about the Moda Center, and I said that's good, that's the point, because that needs to be protected, and I'm pretty sure my constituents don't want to see PSEF money going towards renovations of fancy boxes while people outside the Moda Center are choking on wildfire smoke. That's not what it's for. I care a lot about everyone being able to walk, bike, roll throughout their neighborhoods without the fear of traffic violence. Okay, thank you so much. My time's up.
Hey, I'm Brandon Mullen. I'm running in District 3. Really excited to be here. I have 15 years of public service experience and maybe a little less experience talking in front of a group like this. First, I just want to say that climate change is an existential threat, and I think if you are a candidate and can't say that out loud, it should be disqualifying. Second, our campaign speaks a lot to climate justice issues, including making sure that PSEF is protected. It should not be a slush fund, making sure that we expand our urban canopy, particularly to East Portland. But one issue that I want to talk about is a concept of universal basic mobility, which is making sure that no matter how much money you have, you are able to have choice and freedom in how you get around, and that's especially important because transportation emissions make up the majority of our greenhouse gas emissions. So that means making sure that people have the choice to use the bus, use the MAX, use car share, bike share, but it also means making sure that our street infrastructure is safe for people to use it in those ways. I was just hit by a car on my bike a month ago, so I know what that's like, and it's not very much fun. Thank you.
Hi friends, my name is Nicole Tigner, and this is for District 3. I don't want to take up a bunch of your time. I only get 1 minute, so I'm going to tell you that I care a ton about Frog Ferry and the Human Access Project. It's something that needs to be done. That transportation on the water is key. Everybody should be able to touch the water. On the west side, there's only from Hawthorne Bowl all the way up to Savi Island. There's no places that are public to touch the water. We need to change that. Yeah. I'm super excited about working towards having a more walkable city. The infrastructure that we have really needs to have the green loop. I care a bunch about that. PSEF funds shouldn't be touched unless it has to do with the environment. And most importantly, we really need to get rid of the CEI hub situation. It is a disaster, and I'm just done with it.
Does it start when I say something?
Yeah.
My name's Tom. I'm a candidate in District 3. I come from a community organizing background, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I was displaced from my community, and I've always thought it was more connected. I could have stayed living in South Korea instead of growing up here in Oregon. And I do believe that climate justice can be that anchor for neighborhoods, for the city, for communities. And I'd like you to think about one thing: turning our neighborhoods into grocery stores through subsidies that allow people to grow fruits, vegetables. Your neighbor is where you get your apples, your community garden, your vegetables.
Here, here.
And I think we can do things like that together with this new city council. Thank you.
I'm Joel Corcoran. I'm a candidate for District 3 on City Council. I am an attorney, a scientist, a fixer, a nerd, and a cat dad. I've spent my life in public service. I have worked in law and government my entire professional career. I've worked in science policy. I've worked in climate policy occasionally. I have served on staff with state and federal legislators, I've worked in constituent service, and last year I was policy advisor for Councilor Loretta Smith in District 1. And my experience there and getting some urging from my friends has brought me to run as a candidate this year. I'm a progressive. If you want to know what type of progressive, come ask me some questions about my policy ideas and where I stand on the issues. I'm a pragmatic progressive. I believe in good government first. I believe that we need good government in order to make good policies work. And I remember when we used to be the city that works. I wanted to get us to we can be again. That's it. I gotta look at my lawyers.
Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Esther Leon. I have been a doctor of physical therapy for about the last decade, and I also am a community college educator at Mount Hood Community College, and I dabble in the local theater and music scene in Portland. The climate is so important to me because it is essential for our health and wellness. I have seen so many patients with asthma exacerbations, COPD exacerbations, with fire going out of control. When I see my patients who can't walk outside during the summer because it's so hot, there's no tree canopy coverage. All of this is part of wellness. And as Brandon said, this is an existential threat. So I fully support 350 PDX's platform. That includes public transportation, which, as one of my fellow candidates mentioned, is also, this is a diversity, equity, and inclusion issue as well. Everybody deserves to be able to get to class, get to medical appointments, get to groceries, and get to wherever they want to go for fun. So thank you all for listening. I appreciate you.
Hello, thanks for having us. My name is Kelly Torres. I'm running for council in District 3. I am a proud public service professional. I have been working for the City of Portland for over 2 decades. I work for Portland Parks and Recreation currently. Thank you for championing those jobs. Where'd you go? The urban forestry jobs. Very strong in partnership and working on people to come up with really good climate solutions. Working with people close to the river, working with organizations in East Portland to make sure that we are doing shade canopy work, and working with people to make sure that we're providing free programs to families in Portland that are tied to PSEP initiatives. I've served as an internal reviewer of PSEP applications in the past, and I really strongly believe that the voter intent should be carried out for all projects that we do with PSEP. Thanks so much for having us.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Angelita Murillo, or Angelita Murillo for those of you that speak English. I'm running for re-election in District 3, which is inner southeast Portland with a little piece of northeast. And I'm coming off of a very tense budget discussion last night, so I'm gonna bring a little heat tonight, that's okay. The first policy that we introduced, a few of us, Councilor Koyana Lane, Mitch Green, and Dunphy and I, was a policy to hold the Zenith Oil Company accountable for the harm that they are doing in our community. Because I believe that we deserve a city council that is willing to do oversight when there are companies that are coming through our city to profit off of our communities and potentially causing harm. We need a city council that is going to protect the PSEP dollars from the Moda Center, from a billionaire that wants renovations against the community's needs. And so I plan to win re-election, and I plan to also get a 7th vote so that your city council progressives can actually defend all of these plans. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm your 7th vote. My name is Crystal Otero. I'm running for District 3. These are my notes from your first platform, but what I took away is 1, preserving the oil infrastructure ban, protect and enforce the 2016 ban. 2, banning coal trains, which I'm very much in support of, and I live near the trains in Southeast. I worry a lot about the Urban Alchemy camp because it's next to the coal trains, and because that's train property, we don't have to have any health requirements to use that land. And then finally, the PSEP dollars. The PSEP dollars represent what we can do with the power of local dollars, in particular to address disparities in our community. And I think the city has done an amazing job to do that. So, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mitch Green. I'm a Portland City Councilor for District 4, and I'm running for re-election. Angelina stole some of my fire, but I want to say that one of the things I cared the most about when I was running was Zenith Energy and the Critical Energy Infrastructure Hub. So the first thing that we did when we heard that the city administrator was going to issue a permit, a land use decision, we went, drafted a resolution overnight, and filed it to do oversight on that. So I'm proud of that. I want to also say that every vote where PSEF intent has been undermined, I've always voted to protect PSEF. I'm not gonna vote to give PSEF money to the Modus Center. If we're gonna fund the Modus Center, we have to find a different way, and I think we should ask the voters if they wanna do it. And then finally, the Critical Energy Infrastructure Hub is the issue of our time for my district. And so I'm committed to a very aggressive drawdown plan that makes sure that we protect our communities. And if you re-elect me, I'll carry that fight forward. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Evenstar. I live downtown. I'm a mom of 5. I'm a renter, and I've been car-free since 2017.
Yeah.
So I take transit every single day, and so do my children. I'm really out here living that low-carbon life. And I'm running in District 4 to deliver for District 4 the way I've been delivering for the city for the last decade. I wrote the tenant protections that keep renters in their homes. I built the Rose Lane project that got buses out of traffic. I helped create our Portland's 100% renewable energy commitment and the strongest green roof regulations in the country. I built Portland's PBOT's anti-displacement framework, and I helped implement our new form of government. I know firsthand how hard it is to get things done at the city, and I have done it successfully and repeatedly. So I'm not here to give you new climate strategy policy ideas. You've written a platform, I've signed on. What you need are people with the skills and the relationships to do the hard things required to get that platform over the finish line. And that's me, so I look forward to talking to you more soon. Thank you.
My name is Jeremy Beausoleil Smith. I am a parent, a husband, and a capital projects and construction manager at Portland State University. Portland is having an affordability crisis. I will fight to lower costs and make life easier. I am running on a platform of housing as a human right, a Green New Deal for Portland, and pushing back against Trump's fascist agenda. We can have a data center moratorium. We can have Ross Island Ecological Park, and we can end the operations at the CEI Hub entirely. My generation is ready to lead. You just have to let us. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for being here. I'm Olivia Clark. I'm running for re-election in District 4. I'm the chair of the Public Works Committee and the vice president of the City Council. I've been working on these issues, environmental issues, since I was in high school. We called it ecology, if anybody remembers that, when we put the brick in the toilet. We've come a long way since then. I worked at DEQ. I got the Clean Air Act updated in a Republican legislature as a lobbyist. I worked at TriMet. I got the money for the Tillicum Bridge, the Green Line, and the Orange Line. I'm a huge transit advocate. I think that we need to do more on transit. I also, in the first year of the City Council, introduced a budget amendment to put a staff person on working on the CEI Hub, which I agree with Mitch is the #1 issue for District 4. We have to draw down the CEI Hub. I will continue to work on that in whatever committee I'm on, in Public Works or wherever. So I would appreciate your vote, again, as the #1 candidate in District 4. Thank you.
Hi folks, I'm Eric Zimmerman. I'm a city councilor in District 4 and running for re-election. I am thrilled to be here tonight. Thanks for kind of kicking off the season. It's also kind of awesome to do a campaign with the other district, which last year we didn't really get to do because there were so many of us. So I am just, I represent downtown Portland. So when I think about urban development, I think about going high and making sure that we aren't leaving floors on the cutting board of development for housing. When we talk about a walkable community, we think about what can places like Slabtown look like. So I think that the 7th vote exists on a lot of issues. I had a great time working with Teacher Tiffany on Vision Zero and our sidewalk improvement. A great time working with Councilor Murillo on our design review reforms so that people can't stop what we're building because they don't like the color of our glass. And with Mitch on getting our investigation into Zenith. So thanks for your attention, appreciate you, and I look forward to your support later in November.
Hello, I'm Eli Arnold, running in District 4. I'm a father of 4, a veteran, former community garden organizer, Bernie Sanders delegate, and worked as a police officer in Portland. And, you know, I think 500 years from now, when those kids are sitting in their classroom, they're talking about this time, the one thing they're going to talk about is how we presided over this degradation of the biosphere. You know, I have photosynthesis and a giant sequoia tree tattooed on my arm for a reason. And, you know, I think one really cool thing that we could do, since we have this PSEF money that I support, is fairless transit. I think it could touch on so many things. We have a funding source right there. And it's something I'm excited to push for if I'm elected in November. Thank you.
I think I'm one of the only people to not endorse the climate justice platform, and I feel like I should explain. It's not really my style. I like to actually get to know all the things that are outlined in there, which is why I've been going to things like the Human Access Project Volunteer Days, Pave, Reimagine the River. If you're involved with anything that's in there, I'd like to get to know you. Please come over and say hi so we can connect.
Thank you. I want to give it up for all these candidates first. Thank you all for taking time to be here with us. I want to paint a picture for them. Can you raise your hand if you will be voting in District 3? Can you raise your hand if you'll be voting in District 4? And every person here, regardless of what district they're in, has multitudes of people they are connected to. So I just want to paint a picture that this room symbolizes a massive movement of people across Portland who need climate justice to be a top priority in this election. And we all heard PSEF mentioned a number of times, the Portland Clean Energy Fund, and a great reminder for everyone is that only passed in 2018 because over 60% of voters said yes to put that policy in place. So that means the overwhelming majority of Portlanders want to see PSEF prioritized and funded and outlined. And so as you continue on with your election journey, remember that climate justice is a key priority for Portland voters, and we will be watching what you all say, and we hope that you keep saying these awesome things and join us in these events that we'll be having throughout the summer and fall. We will have, you maybe want to ask some of these candidates questions. That's the next part of this evening is we're going to have more like tabling and mingling where you'll get to have more face-to-face time with candidates. But before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for being here, and also if you believe in this kind of work that we're doing at 350 PDX to infuse these issues into our election, I invite you and encourage you to support our work. We are a grassroots organization that does everything that we do because of the generosity of people in our community. And so there are a number of different QR codes you could take a photo of or visit us at 350pdx.org/donate to support this work that we do. And we will be fighting tirelessly from now until Election Day to ensure that everything in this platform becomes policy in our city. So thank you so much, everyone, and I hope you continue to have great conversations with these folks tonight. Yes, I'll invite all of the candidates to go back to your tables. Yes, you can go back to your tables, and then questions and conversations will continue in that fashion. So thank you all for coming and for listening.